Hello everybody again. Today we're going to see prepositions, but prepositions that come always with certain verbs and mean different stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos. Also, send me a comment if there's something that you like me to record to. So let's start now. So prepositions. The first one we're going to see is with the verb poner. In order to do that, I would like to tell you first what does it mean poner. Poner means to put, okay? To put something somewhere, right? To put something somewhere, okay? So that's poner, okay? So now you're gonna need to know what it means ponerse. Ponerse is to put something on, like a coat or something. Now I'm gonna show you how you write it down, don't worry. So ponerse is to put something on. So poner, to put something somewhere. Ponerse, to put something on, is a reflexive, and we saw that in a previous videos, what's a reflexive. And now, ponerse a. When you add the preposition a, it means, you see, so you have poner, I talked to you about, ponerse, to put on, ponerse a, to start doing something as a consequence. So, for example, to start to doing something. In this case, for example, this is burst into tears, ponerse a. The one that I can think that is the closest one in English, it doesn't really exist in Spanish, is to burst into tears. Why? Because burst into tears means to start crying, right? But it's not the same as saying to start crying. It's a little more. It's like, you know, after, as a consequence of something. Well, the same about ponerse. For example, ponerse a llorar. So ponerse a llorar, if you want to write out down here, ponerse a llorar means to start crying. But it's more to burst into tears, would be more. To burst into tears. Okay, now it also works in another examples in Spanish. For example, después de estar todo el día sin hacer nada en el sofá, me puse a estudiar. So basically what I meant is after not doing anything, I was in the sofa all day, and then after that, me puse a estudiar. So I started, so I put myself, you know, I did the effort to start studying, okay? If I say empecé a estudiar, which is also valid, means to start studying, or comencé a estudiar, to begin studying, it's fine, but it doesn't have the same connotation as ponerse a. Ponerse a, it looks like, you know, it took you some kind of an effort, you know, you were all day on the couch and then you start doing that. The same as when you start crying, right? If I say to burst into tears, it's like different than say to start crying, right? So let's say after she saw, I don't know, the love of her life kissing another woman, se puso a llorar, you know, she burst into tears. So it's like, you don't say just, oh, she just started crying, you know, after that. So that's kind of the idea of ponerse a. So after something, it means to start doing something, but after, as a consequence of something. And I put here in our notes, like I always do, as a consequence of after something happened. Now, empezar, as I say, means to start, and comenzar means to begin, okay? Which are synonyms, these two, but this one is a little bit different. So, now let's see the verb dejar. Okay, dejar means to, first of all, it means to leave something behind. Also, dejar also means to leave a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So it also means to leave your ex behind. But dejar means to leave something behind. For example, yo dejé mi celular en la oficina. Let me show you like an example. For example, you see, to leave the cell phone at the office. Yo dejé el celular en la oficina. You see, I left it behind. So you left. But you can leave also a boyfriend. So dejé a mi novio. Okay. So also dejar means to let. To let someone do something or to give permission. So, por ejemplo, te dejo salir a jugar afuera. Let me give you this example. You see the mom telling to give permission is te dejo, this te is to you, so I let you play outside. So, te dejo jugar afuera, te dejo, is to let, for example, el jefe, the boss says, te dejo tomarte 2 semanas de vacaciones. I let you take 2-week vacation, for example. That's dejar as well. Then, let's add the preposition. So, dejar de, it changes the meaning if you add the preposition. Dejar de means to stop or to quit doing something. So, and it's more like to quit or to stop doing it. So, than, for example, dejar to stop smoking. So, dejar de fumar. Some of my students ask me also which is the difference with parar. So, parar also means to stop. You know the signs pare, I don't know if you ever saw a sign that says pare. Yeah, it means to stop, but it's more like physically, right? So, that's why in the sign you have to stop, parar, you know. So, dejar de is more to stop doing something or to quit, okay? So, that means dejar de. Now, let's go to volver. Okay, volver. Volver by itself, do you know what it means? It means to return. So, if I say, guys, if I say volver a, you say, is to return to. Volver a, por ejemplo, yo volví a mi casa. I return home, you see, volver a. Now, volver de, you see the difference. Volver a, volví a mi casa. I return to my house. Y volver de is I return from something. For example, return from vacations. So, volver de vacaciones, okay? Volver de vacaciones. So, volver de, return from. I can put it in here. Volver de is to return from. Now, let's see another volverá. Another volverá means to return to do something also. So it could be tricky. Volver a mi casa is to return to my house. But I will give you some examples to see if you understand this better. For example, empecé, you see here, empecé a jugar al tenis de niña. So I started playing tennis as a child. Then yo dejé, or I quit playing, or I stopped playing al tenis. And then yo volví a jugar al tenis. So I returned to do it. So, por ejemplo, yo dejé de, ya stop, dejé de hacer ejercicio y ahora volví a hacer ejercicio. It means I returned to workout. So that would be dejar de. There are so many different meanings. That's why it's so important that you are aware of this. Okay, now let's go to these two ones, which is atreverse a, this is how you write it down, or animarse a. Okay, atreverse a, animarse a. Both means to gain courage or to dare, okay? Both means the same thing. But it has like a little slight difference, and I will tell you what. For example, to gain courage to do something physically, or to dare to do something physically will be more atreverse a. So atreverse a is like, both of them mean the same, okay? And besides emotional and physical, immediately when you're ready emotionally, you do it physically, so it's like just a little difference. But let me give you an example of atreverse. First, in this case, I don't know, se atrevió a saltar, or you see in this baseball game, to give the last, you know, he dared to give the last shot or something. But let's say another one. Atreverse a, por ejemplo, él se atrevió a hacer paracaidismo. What it means paracaidismo? Skydiving. Okay, skydiving. Can you see how physical is this? Also mentally, right? So you can say also se animó. But I guess atreverse is more, he dared to do skydiving. He dared to jump out of the airplane, so se atrevió, right? And then animarse a will be something more emotional, a little bit. For example, él se animó a decir te quiero. Él se animó a decir te quiero means he dared or he gained courage to say I love you, for example. Or for example, in this case that I show you, ella se animó, you see, I don't know, a hablar en público. She dared to speak in public, right? Animarse a. Or for example, another example could be with animarse would be ella se animó a pedir un aumento. Pedir un aumento, guys, it means to ask for a raise. So pedir un aumento is ask for a race at work, for example. That's definitely animarse a, for example, right? So atreverse a, animarse a, both reflexive, so it's important that you see the reflexive part of the videos that I did before, okay? Let's see another verb that is interesting, llegar. Okay, llegar has many meanings. One of them, I'm sure you already know, means to arrive. Llegar, no llevar with V. Llevar with V, that many people confuse it, is to carry, okay? No, llegar with a G. So llegar a, okay, llegar a is the most common ones, is arrive to, okay? Llegar a is to arrive to. Now, that's the easiest one. Let's see another one. Llegar a also means to end up doing something. For example, I like to give this example because obviously this person didn't mean it. For example, sorry, I need to find the example. To end up doing something without meaning it. For example, ella llegué a gritar a mi hijo por mi mal humor. So end up yelling to my son for my vibe. You know when you snap, so you end up doing something you didn't mean to. Or even, por example, I give this other example, ella llegó a comprar, no sé, ropa, un abrigo por $1,000. So she ended up buying that coat for $1,000. So just a snap decision, right? It's like, entonces, llegar a hacer algo, to end up doing something without really meaning it or thinking it very good, okay? Now, there's another llegar a. That's why it can get tricky. And it's also llegar a, but you have to see it in context. So for example, llegar a also means to manage to finish something. So for example, literally, there's not really a good translation for it, but it's to manage to finish something when you were not planning to finish or it was hard for you. Por ejemplo, llegué a terminar el examen. I end up I managed to finish the exam, for example. Llegué a terminar el examen. Or another example of llegar a, llegué a terminar mi proyecto, like at work, llegué a terminar I end up finishing my project. I managed to finish my project. Can you see the difference? To manage, por ejemplo, you guys, llegaste a estudiar para la clase de español. Did you manage to finish to study or were you too busy, right? Did you manage to finish study or you were, oh no, llegué a estudiar, right? That would be another example of llegar a. And also, alcanzar a also could mean that. It's a synonym, so you have these two guys here. Okay, so careful with alcanzar. Alcanzar also means to reach something physically. Alcanzar algo without the a, without the preposition a. Alcanzar means to reach something, okay? But alcanzar a, it can also mean to manage to finish something. So it's a synonym in this case of llegar a, that is to manage to finish something. For example, it's the same thing. Yo alcancé a terminar ese proyecto. I end up finishing that project. Alcancé a terminarlo. I end up finishing. I managed to finish it. Or alcancé a estudiar para mi clase de español. You see? I managed to finish to study for my Spanish class. O alcancé a hacer la tarea. It's the same, that example of llegué a. So alcanzar a and llegar a is the same thing. Okay? So, some extra vocabulary that is useful. There are some of reflection, there are some of not. Por ejemplo, acostumbrarse a is to get used to. Por ejemplo, you can say, me acostumbré a correr a la mañana. I got used to run in the morning. Or you can use soler. I don't know if you guys remember, well, in one of my classes, yo suelo correr a la mañana. It means I am accustomed to run in the morning. Both of them would be correct. So acostumbrarse is to get used to. The enseñar always goes with a. So enseñar means to teach, and is enseñar a means to teach to someone. The entender a is to tend to. So for example, tend to, but it has like a little bit negative connotation in Spanish more than the English one. For example, yo tiendo in present tense is yo tiendo a irme a dormir tarde. So I tend to go to bed late. You see how it has a little bit of negative connotation. It's like a tendency to do like a bad habit, okay? So tiendo a. Then dedicarse a is to dedicate yourself to, and it's actually another way of asking what do you do for a living, en qué trabajas. You can also ask a qué te dedicas, because it's dedicate yourself. This is a very common one. A qué te dedicas. My mom will ask this. ¿A qué te dedicas? It will be what do you think. So yo me dedico a la enseñanza, in this case, to the teaching. Me dedico a la enseñanza. So you put it with a noun, or a finanzas, or whatever you dedicate yourself to. And dedicarse is reflexive. Then the last one I have for you as a bonus is negarse a. Negarse a is to deny. So it's a formal way of saying no. So the judge se negó, el juez se negó a la petición. The judge denied for the petition. Okay? So I hope this is useful. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll hope to see you soon. Ciao, ciao.